To Fiji now, where there's been a backlash following a vote in Parliament to approve a 130% pay rise for MPs.
This motion is therefore agreed to.
The pay rise will cost Fijian taxpayers $1.2 million a year, and it's drawn criticism for coming when everyday Fijians are grappling with the cost of living crisis. Minister Linda Tambuya, chairperson of the committee who spearheaded the bill, said that public criticism comes with the job.
I make no excuse in terms of what has been passed last week. It's a parliamentary process and the public has every right to criticize.
The new salaries will see the president earn over $124,000 a year. The pay for ordinary MPs will rise from just over $33,000 to $64,000. And Prime Minister Sitiveni Rabuka will be paid just over $220,000. Finance Minister and National Federation Party leader Biman Prasad and his 4 members voted against the motion.
We cannot support the recommendations.
The parliamentarians are voting on their own salary increases, which is not the best way to approach. In Australia and New Zealand, there are independent committees that decide. It's not put to the MPs themselves.
Following widespread criticism, Prime Minister Rabuka said the pay increases have yet to be finalised, but could happen at a later date. The pay rise discussion is threatening to destabilise both sides of the House. To unpack this all, let's head to Suva and we're joined by our Fijian reporter, Mbula Lide.
Mbula Vinaka, Chrissy, it's good to see you there in Melbourne.
Great to see you as well. Firstly, besides high cost of living, why has giving MPs a pay rise caused so much unease in Fiji?
Chrissy, 1/3 of our population lives in poverty, and we already have a lot of essential jobs like teachers and nurses calling for a pay increase. Now, this government did increase our minimum wage, but it's still considered very low. But Chrissy, there's also been a little bit of political mischief. There's a lot of misinformation going out there. What happened on Friday was not a vote for a pay rise. Instead, it was a vote to endorse a report that is calling for a pay review, Chrissy.
There's reports also that the proper legal process for salary increases were not being followed. So does this make the motion invalid?
No, that motion was quite valid, Chrissy. However, the bigger question now is, what about the processes ahead of us? So now it's on the government's court to actually bring a law back to Parliament. And there's some processes involved there too, which include public scrutiny and public input before they can bring a bill back to Parliament for debate.
We've also heard, Lee, there that Prime Minister Rabuka is threatening action. So what happens now?
I think that's been the most exciting and probably interesting implications of this pay review fiasco, Chrissy, is watching the way that both sides of Parliament is imploding. On the side of the opposition, the Fiji First Party, there had been rumours of a power struggle and division within the party, and now we're watching that play out on social media. And on the side of the government, we have the Prime Minister issuing what seems like a veiled threat. Now, the most drastic action that he could take is to basically make all 5 National Federation MPs backbenchers. But Chrissy, that is something that's pretty drastic and probably not something that the Prime Minister wants to do, given that the NFP hold quite a lot of power in what is already a very fragile coalition, Chrissy.
Lide, that's all we have time for. Vinava Levu Wantok.
Vinaa.